Good morning, everyone. Today is Saturday, October 3rd. My name is Jamie Kindred, and I'm the Community Programs and Projects Coordinator for the City of Hondo, and this is Coffee with Cops. This morning, I am so incredibly excited to have Detective Sergeant Brandon Teer with me this morning. That's a mouthful.
Yes, ma'am.
First of all, let me just say, it has been the most incredibly beautiful week. I'm afraid to say, but I'm going to anyway because that's what I do. I think fall might be here.
I think so.
I'm really excited about it. It's my favorite time of year. We have a ton of things to talk about this morning. First of all, I am trying to stay away from all this yumminess. I don't know if you can smell this over here, Sergeant, but the lemon bread gets me every single time. So I have to stay away from it a little bit. But it is Saturday morning, and it is a glorious day, and we hope that you are having a wonderful Saturday. We were just talking about when we might be able to go back to Coffee with Cops in person. So we're working on that. In the meantime, we love this arrangement. This is a ton of fun. So stay tuned for that for sure. Speaking of some things coming up, so it is October.
It is.
Hondoween. Let's talk about that first. I know we have a ton of things to talk about today regarding identity theft, which I have a million questions about. But let's talk about the really cool and fun things first. Hondoween. What's that going to look like this year?
As we deal with the current pandemic and everything that's going on, the CDC has actually not recommended, door-to-door trick-or-treating this year. They've not recommended large parties, and unfortunately, it falls on a Saturday this year, so that really, everybody's excited that Halloween's finally on a Saturday.
Thanks again, 2020.
But from my understanding, I know it's still in the beginning stages of getting everything planned and sorted out, but the City of Hondo Parks and Recreation Department will be headed up a Hondoween. The current plan, from what I understand, is it's going to be a drive-through event this year, and it's going to be held over, I believe, at the Rick Taylor Center, but that is, subject to change. I don't have any final details.
Sure.
But that is what we're talking about at this time.
Right.
Something a little safer where kids can still dress up, enjoy, and go about trick-or-treating. So instead of walking around, everybody will be lined up as usual, but it's going to be drive-through, and everybody's going to be spaced out a little bit.
Almost a parade of sorts.
Correct.
So that's a cool thing. Be sure to look at our City of Hondo Facebook page for sure, the Parks and Recs page, to stay updated on that. Everybody's going to want to do something fun for Halloween, and Hondoween is always a ton of fun, even if it is going to look a little bit different this year.
Correct.
Speaking of looking different, National Night Out is coming up also. So I know I just saw something on your Facebook page about that. On this Facebook page, the Hondo City of Hondo Police Department Facebook page. Tell me what that's going to look like.
So this year, as normal, the first Tuesday of the month, which would be October 6th, is National Night Out. We sat down, we brainstormed, we really still wanted to have something going on to show the community that we're still out there. We still care, and we want to build community strength. And the whole point of National Night Out is to bring everybody together and have a good, safe environment. So this year, with the pandemic and everything, we brainstormed and created, why not use a facility that the city owns. So
sure.
We're going to be using City Park number 1. We're going to be cooking up hot dogs. We've already started the donation process. So everything's looking fairly good right now, and so we've set it in stone. From 6 p.m. to 8:30, we're going to start. It's going to be a drive-through this year.
Again, a drive-through.
A drive-through. So what we plan on doing, those who want to set up booths, if they're still interested within the next week or so, let us know. Where you can still hand out goodies, because everybody knows different businesses or organizations will set up booths around National Night Out when we used to hold it downtown. So we can still safely put them along the line of cars where they can still spread the word about their business organization, hand out goodie bags and stuff to the children coming by. So the entrance will be off of Castro Avenue as you come into the fairgrounds.
Okay.
Okay, and then it's gonna wind into City Park number 1, and then you'll exit out the main entrance off of 462 North.
Oh, fun.
So we will be handing out hot dogs in good bags until they're gone, but I think we're anticipating over 2,000 hot dogs this year.
Oh
so-
my goodness, that's a lot of dogs.
That is a lot of dogs. So, we want to show the community that we're still there.
That's right.
We still support the community, and we're not going to let this hinder something that's been going on for years.
Yeah, it has, and it is a wonderful event. Again, National Night Out in 3 days from now, October 6th. Going to be out at City Park number 1. You can just drive through. We could probably just have like our pajama pants on, even if we wanted to.
We
right?
take you as you are.
We don't have to get dressed up or any of those things. Hey, we will find the silver lining in every single thing that happens, won't we?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Halloween night and National Night Out on October 6th. So we're looking forward to that. Stay tuned to this Facebook page as well as the Rec Center Facebook page and the City of Hondo Facebook page for more information, especially regarding Halloween, as that is not quite ironed out completely yet. Okay, great. All right, let's get down to brass tacks, shall we? Let's talk about identity theft. You sent me a ton of information that, quite frankly, made me super nervous because, first of all, I just want to look at these shopping safety guidelines.
Right.
I'm pretty good with most of these.
Well, most people are, but
Yeah, avoid wearing expensive jewelry. No problem. Here, yes. Dress casually and comfortably, always. Where was the one about cash? Avoid carrying large amounts of cash. I don't ever have that problem, so this is a good thing. What do you find to be like the most common form of identity theft?
Identity theft can vary. I do oversee the criminal investigation division, but I'm the one that concentrates on the white collar crimes. So I see what comes through. Come around January tax season time, we get a lot of IRS scams.
Oh, yeah.
People will find out that their identity's been used to file a fraudulent tax return, and it creates a nightmare. We have worked some cases in conjunction with the IRS in the past, and have been able to, took several months, probably all the way up to June or July before we got them all sorted out to where they can file their tax return. But usually the IRS does handle those type of things. As we approach the holiday season, which is why we're getting to this topic, debit card and credit card abuse runs rampant. So people are trying to pay for Christmas, and there are those that unfortunately want to take the less easier route and not work for what they want. And they'll take advantage of those who do have good credit, or take their credit card numbers. They'll make ghost credit cards. They'll use it online. If they've got all your information, you can technically go to websites across the black web, and if your credit card number is stolen, it's sold to somebody in Russia, and you can literally go into the shopping list and say you want to buy a credit card number that's in the United States, and they'll sell you a credit card number from the United States. So we've seen it done. So that's why it's not always easy to file charges on these cases, because they can go across state lines and country lines internationally. So it makes it difficult, and that's when we do work with the federal government at times to let them know what we have, and then they can link it to usually bigger rings.
Right.
But 9 times out of 10, it's going to be somebody or you dropped or lost your credit card, or.
Oh, I can't tell you how many times that's happened to me.
So.
I am so fortunate that we live in a place where the majority of people are incredibly kind and honest, and I've always gotten my card back. But yeah, that has happened. That's some scary stuff.
It is.
And immediately my brain goes to, I know some people that I'm very close to who refuse to deal in credit or debit cards altogether. And they only want to deal in cash, which leads back to this problem of carrying
Right.
large amounts of cash. And then I have the flip side of that where people are like, I'm just going to use my card for everything because it's very traceable,
Right.
those types of things. Is there a middle ground to that? Like, what is,
The difference and the one thing that we do suggest as law enforcement is, one thing is, you know, we have the charge, it's either debit or credit card
Sure.
abuse. And the problem is people use their debit card, which comes out of your checking, for just like a credit card for
Right.
everything. The problem with that is if your card's compromised, there's only so much that the bank may reimburse you for.
depending on your bank's
Right.
regulations, sure.
And before you realize it's been compromised, they've drained your whole checking account, because that's where the money's coming from.
Sure.
Credit cards, you can at least stop, make a report, and get reimbursed for, there's more insurance and security to using a credit card.
A true credit card.
Right.
Gotcha. Interesting. Okay, so how do I guess, if on one of those, unfortunately, several instances where I've dropped my credit card in the Dairy Queen parking lot,
Right.
and some unsavory person picks it up and steals it or whatever, how do I go about fixing that? Do I call my bank first? Do I call you guys first?
Immediately, call your bank. Stop that card, get it canceled, or as most banks are going to, they have the option where you can log in and freeze that card. And then if you find it, you can unfreeze it.
Sure.
That's the new biggest trend that they're doing, and it seems to work well. But if you've lost your card, immediately report it, deactivate it, and start working on the process of getting it done. They're going to probably require you to make a police report. Then at that point, notify us, but you want to notify your bank first. That way they can get it stopped from being used. Because if somebody tries to use it, it's still going to show up as they've tried to use it.
Right.
And when it comes to debit and credit card abuse, if they attempt to use it to purchase something, it's still an offense. So whether they
Okay.
get something out of it or not, it's still something we will look into. And in today's day and age, when it timestamps everything, and it gives us something to
Right.
look back to on video surveillance. And most of the time, we're gonna be able to come up with at least a physical description. And like in Hondo, unfortunately, some people do pick it up and make the decision to go and do something that is illegal, and we will recognize the person, or we've put it on our social media page, and
Sure.
somebody has recognized and forwarded that information anonymously to us, which led us to arresting the individual.
Yeah, right.
So,
That's amazing. So I'm looking at this cool little instrument that you have here, and
so
I have an idea what that is, but
So one of the big things that we have is, and they are trying to rectify it, you'll notice on some of the new gas pumps that they're installing new pumps that take the new chipped card. They have so long to get up to those security measures. Right now, because the security measures have taken place, that's the number one place that people are going to place the little, what they call skimmers.
okay.
And just when you think we know what we're looking for, the technology or of the people that make these skimmers are getting smaller and smaller and more progressed to where you really got to know what you're looking for to even know what's in there. So if everybody's heard of Alamo Area Council of Governments, ACOG, they put the police academy and ACOG, they put a grant together.
Oh, nice.
And every department within the ACOG region received this is a skimmer reader. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this, we'll turn it on, we'll place it in like a gas pump or any type of card machine, and it's going to read and let us know if there's some type of skimmer attached to that.
Oh, without actually having to tear the whole
Right.
thing apart. Got it.
So, and like I said, because what used to be is they would break open, there'd be wires everywhere, it'd be obvious. Now it's to where there's little pinhole cameras and all kinds of stuff that are sitting there looking as you type in your
Oh
your
my
PIN,
goodness.
your PIN number. So
That's
Um,
incredible.
They can do it all by Bluetooth and wireless, and it's getting harder and harder to detect them
Uh-huh.
and catch the individuals doing it. But this wonderful tool, so far we haven't had to use it since we've had it. I think we've had it since July.
Oh, wow.
But if somebody tells us that, you know, we get so many reports and it comes back to like a gas pump or a point of sale somewhere that we know here in town we're getting more than one,
Uh-huh.
we're gonna take this over there and we're gonna check and see if there's any type of skimmer in there.
That's
So
amazing.
it's a wonderful tool.
That is a wonderful tool, but in my head, Sergeant, I'm just like, these individuals are so incredibly brilliant as to be able to almost be one step ahead. And so then, from your perspective, how do you stay one step ahead of, it's crazy.
Every peace officer in the state of Texas, we're commissioned through the Texas Commission on Law
Mhm.
Enforcement. And we're required so many continuing education hours
Right.
within a 2-year cycle. So it's dependent upon us to go to courses, and in conjunction with this, ACOG put on a free course on how to use this and what to look for and how to detect skimmers. So they've taken their homework and they're passing it on to the law enforcement side, to the patrol and to the investigation side. So we know what to look for. So we're constantly
Yeah.
going to classes and
Mhm.
educating ourselves.
Yeah, it's never ending.
Yes.
So something else that I see that happens a lot, and my in-laws live right next door to me, and it never fails, whenever I'm at their house, their phone rings, which is almost weird because so many people do not have a landline anymore. A lot of our older generation does still have landlines, so when I'm there and the phone rings, that's weird to begin with. And it never fails while I'm there. They'll answer the phone, there's nobody there, or it's what my father-in-law likes to call a robocall.
Yes.
And they hang up. But I see so many times, especially where our older generation is being scammed in some way, shape, or form to send money or to give information.
The number one scam with that is it's called the grandparent scam, and they'll call somehow or another. They'll do their research, they'll get information, or they'll just play along, and the person on the other end of the line is providing them the information they know without them realizing that they're doing it.
Again,
And
brilliant
basically-
people knowing
Right.
exactly how to manipulate. Yeah.
And basically the scam works that they're posing as a grandchild of that individual and telling them that they're in jail somewhere. And
Oh my goodness.
They need money to get out and to wire them money. This also similar type scam with IRS where they do that. The main thing is if anybody asks you to go purchase a Apple iTunes card or some type of gift card and then go purchase all these cards and then read them the number over the phone, that's a big clue that this is not a legitimate
Right.
phone call. But, you know, and not to say, you know, not everybody's up to technology and all that. We've had many reports with many victims that have fallen short. You know, everybody needs to remember not everybody has grown up in the technology that some of us have.
And even if you have, it's real easy to slip sometimes and not realize what's happening until after it's happened.
So, and one thing to remember with the IRS, they're never going to call you. They're
Mhm.
never going to email you. They're going to send you something in the mail, and then you're going to call their office with a verified number. So if anybody's telling you have a warrant for your arrest because you owe back taxes or something like that,
Mhm.
that's a scam all the way. I actually got one of those phone calls on my cell phone the other day. I'm like, really, you're calling a police officer to tell me I have a warrant? So, you know, and it's getting to where, you know, they talk in a heavy accent.
Sure.
And now that we're pushing out that they're using like a robo type voice to do their script.
Robocall, as my father-in-law affectionately calls it.
So,
Yeah.
And the federal government and the Federal Trade Commission are doing their best to combat these, but one goes up, you know, another one goes down, another one comes
Mhm.
up. So it's a revolving thing but they are well aware of it, and they do work these cases.
Yeah. One of the last things I want to talk about is like email scams. I know I have a lot of friends who get a lot of really random emails, and it's all fine and dandy until you click on the link, right?
Right. Once you click on the link, it'll probably is called malware,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to send you some type of virus or something that's going to ingrain into your computer.
Right, and you never know that it's
Right.
happening.
There's also ransomware where you can be, you clicked on something, or they're telling you that they need to remotely log into your computer to fix something. That's the number one sign. Usually, if somebody's going to log in your computer, you're calling them
Exactly.
to fix something. It's a legitimate business, and they're going to ask permission to log in, and everything's going to be done professionally and
Right.
not questionable. I guess
You
I would
will
say.
have initiated that call.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and one thing that most people don't understand is when you mention the Federal Trade Commission, where do you report identity theft?
Yeah.
The Federal Trade Commission is actually the federal agency that monitors identity theft. You can actually go to the city website, click on the police department link, go to the link that says important links, and then there's going to be one for identity theft. And as soon as you click on that, it's going to pop up to their page. And basically, you'll do an online report to the Federal Trade Commission that your identity's been compromised.
That is very important information to know. So tell me that again.
Um,
If you feel like your identity has been stolen in some way, shape, or form.
You're going to report it to the Federal Trade Commission. You can go to the city website, police department link.
Our city website.
Our city website. Once you go to the police department, there'll be another link that says important links. And when you click on that, there will be one for identity theft, I believe is what it's under. As soon as you click on that, it's going to pop up the Federal Trade Commission.
It takes you straight over. Yeah.
We've had a local entity where I'm assuming their computer system may have been hacked because they're reporting to us that they're getting notices from the Texas Workforce Commission for unemployment, and yet they're still employed at this agency.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm assuming that once I started reading into this, because we're getting so many reports, it's not something we really need to take the report on. That's something they're going to have to figure out where the leak's at.
Right.
And go from there. There is at the very top of this Federal Trade Commission link, there's a link up there that is specifically just for that, because I'm assuming that at this point they're having that many issues with this particular scam.
Wow.
So, and it has to do with COVID and people with unemployment and stuff, so
They found a new way
Right.
to, yeah.
as society progresses, they will go with that, with some sort of scam.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, in closing, and especially with the holiday season coming up and so much of this happening at so many different areas, give me like top 3 things that we need to be doing to help secure ourselves, basically.
The number one thing is go to, I think it's annualcreditreport.com.
Uh-huh.
You can obtain, the federal government gives you, annualcreditreport.com.
Uh-huh. Annualcreditreport.com. Okay, I'll put that up too for you.
And if you don't want them, they have a number of 1-877-322-8228.
Mm-hmm.
And you are allowed to request your credit reports once a year free of charge through the 3 credit reporting agencies, Equifax, TransUnion, and
Experian.
Experian. I highly recommend everybody does that.
Just a great way to look over
Right.
everything that's, all the activity that's been going on.
Right.
And
The number 2 thing, if you do use debit cards, credit cards, look over your statements regularly.
that's a great thing, because a lot of us don't even get statements anymore.
Right. If you have the app on your phone, if you're technology based in today's society, pull up your app.
Right.
I at least look at mine every other day.
Yes, I do the same
and
thing.
I look at, what's being charged to make sure those are charges that I've had.
Uh-huh.
I've had my card compromised back a few years back. When
Oh,
I think
my goodness.
Target had that real big.
Yes,
real
I
big
do
breach.
remember that.
So I was part of that, and it's frustrating to go through trying to wait for your new card to come in and
It's still trying to live.
Right. And then it's, you pay your bills monthly on, auto drafts on your
Yes,
credit
you gotta
cards.
change all of that.
So it can be frustrating, so the more steps you take to do that, to protect yourself, the better off you're gonna be. Don't carry large amounts of cash during the holiday season. If you do, make sure it's in your front pocket.
Uh-huh.
For men, we tell them put a rubber band around their wallet so it doesn't slide out of your pocket so
Right.
easy. Look for people following you, looking over your shoulder. When you're putting in your PIN number on an ATM machine or anything like that, or using your credit card or debit card with the PIN number.
Right.
Make sure nobody's looking over your shoulder. Protect everything that you can.
Yeah. As my dad used to always tell me, be aware of your surroundings.
Right.
Yeah.
As you're walking out to your car with, limit to what all you can carry. Make sure you can see visibly around
Mhm.
you. Not everybody does, the shopping physically anymore. It's a lot of it has gone to online.
Yes.
So that brings us to the other about package theft. So, cameras have become a big thing. They're ringing doorbells, especially here in the city when you don't have a fence or anything. We've caught several people
Oh, my
based off
goodness.
of home security cameras.
Yeah.
But have things delivered to either your place of employment, like the UPS store has secured boxes, or you can go on to UPS, the Postal Service website and look at their secure tracking and delivery, so you can see where things are
Right.
being delivered. So be mindful of where your packages are going.
Yeah. And sometimes you forget what you've ordered.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's never happened to me, but I'm just saying. Well, you have been a wellspring of information, and especially with the holidays coming up, I know that unfortunately these types of things will happen much more often. So we appreciate you coming in today, Sergeant. Again, Halloween coming up October 31st. We'll have more information here on this Facebook page, as well as the City of Hondo Facebook page, and of course the Parks and Recs Facebook page. And then National Night Out, October 6th, in just a few nights.
Right.
So that's something to look forward to. Tell me one more time what National Night Out's going to look like.
It's going to be a drive-through event with hopefully we'll have the vendors that do want to show up and hand things out. Will be spaced out on the route of the line. We'll be coming in off of Castro Avenue for the entrance to the fairgrounds. It'll wind around. We'll have cones set off to where it's not confusing.
Yeah.
You'll come up by the barbecue pit areas where we'll be handing out the hot dogs, and then you'll exit out through the main rock entrance off of onto 462 North.
Perfect. I love it. So dinner will be served Tuesday night, it is Tuesday, right?
Yes, ma'am.
October 6th. And you'll get to see all of our wonderful officers and so many other of our city employees out there as well. It's going to be a great night. Again, it's going to look a little bit different, and that is okay. We are moving forward. Thank you guys for hanging out with us on this beautiful Saturday morning. Thank you so much for coming in. I always love talking to you guys. Always give me so much information to move forward with, and we really appreciate it. Hope that you have a wonderful weekend. We will see you next month, Coffee with Cops, on November 7th. That seems like forever away, doesn't it?
Sure does.
It'll be here before we know it. Have a wonderful Saturday, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.